In order to best fit your needs, the review is exactly the same as the Excel portion of the exam. Here, you will notice that we have 9 worksheets actually. We need to complete 8 tasks within this review/exam portion of the IT Excel exam. So within worksheet Q1A, our currently highlighted piece, we highlight our data we go to Insert, we select Recommended Charts, and we select Stacked Area. You'll notice Scatter, Line, Stacked Area. We select that, we click OK. We then want to change our title to amount of inventory as opposed to our abbreviation. Next, we want to click Worksheet Q1B. We highlight our data. We go back to Insert Recommended Charts. This time, we select our first option of Clustered Column. Then, instead of Annual Sales, change your chart name to Car Company Annual Sales. When creating a chart, you want your title to be as specific as possible. Make sure as you're going through each step, you utilize the Save button. Now click on Worksheet Q2. Or asked, for each coupon, display the number of days from today since the coupon expired. This is the since expiration. So we need a formula. You click Formulas, Date and Time, and utilize the Date function. You type in our year, which is 2020, our month, which would be whatever month you are using. Here I'm using September. The day is September 21st, and that is how I put in my date. You will notice it returns a number that represents the date in Microsoft Excel date time code. We click OK. Once we have that, we put it inside a bracket and we subtract it B2 out. We close the bracket, we hit enter, and it has been 1,330 days since January 30th, 2017. We drag down. When you are tasked with completing this, your numbers may be different based on the date you put in. We're then asked, for each coupon, display the date it would appear if you were given an additional 60 days to use it. So if we select B2 and add 60, what do we get? We get our date added by 60 days. We drag down and we have our results for Worksheet Q2. We now want Worksheet Q3. We're asked to enter a formula in cell B2 that adds the value of cell D5 from worksheet Q4 to the value of cell A2 in worksheet Q3. So in cell B2, we enter our formula, which adds cell D5. So we click worksheet Q4 and select D5. We put in plus sign because we are adding the value back in Q3 of cell A2. If you've done this formula property like so, when you hit enter, your result should be 87,365. Now, within worksheet Q4, we're asked to display the highest salary for each job category in each city. Your answer should appear in a separate worksheet, which you should name Q4 ANDS. So we need a pivot table. Insert pivot. We highlight our needed information. New worksheet. We click OK. We need our city, our job category, and our salary. However, instead of sum of salary, we need to change that to max. And now we have the maximum salaries for each job category in each city. And again, we need to rename that as Q4 ANS. We now move on to worksheet Q5. We're asked to display only those employees whose city is Chicago or Seattle. So we again create our pivot table, select our table range, A through D, select new worksheet. We show employee ID and city. However, we need to select city and only select Chicago and Seattle. Once you click OK, you'll notice the sum of employee numbers, 3716, 3869. Next, in worksheet Q6, we're asked to display the employees in ascending order of salary. We select column D, sort and filter, smallest to largest. We select sort when we have our warning. Now we move on to worksheet Q7. We're asked to format cells A1 to A45 so that cells with values between 35 and 60 inclusive have a light green background and darker green numbers. Here we need to utilize conditional formatting. We highlight column A, conditional formatting, new rule, format only cells that contain, and where it says between, put 35 and 60. Click on Format and change font color to dark green. You're welcome to choose olive if you choose. Now we need to change the fill color. This time to a lighter green. So if you chose olive before, change a lighter color green. Then you click OK twice. If it has worked correctly, you will notice that the numbers 35 to 60 have those fills and highlights. We now move on to our blank worksheet 8. We're asked to assume our salary is now $70,000. Your total annual spending is $12,000 on food. House payments, you're making monthly mortgage payments on a house that costs $610,000 with a 30-year loan at a 4.8% interest rate. Our utilities cost $2,000. Our auto expenses cost $3,400. You want to save $16,000 per year. You have an opportunity to lower the interest rate on your loan. What interest rate would you need in order to reach your savings goals? Place your formulas on worksheet Q8 with the new interest rate to 3 decimal places in cell C2. So we begin putting in our assumptions. First, by putting in our headers. You'll notice since we were asked to put the information in C2 that I've left our C column blank. So food, 12,000 is our assumption. House payments, our house is $610,000, 30 years to pay off, our interest rate of 4.8%. Utilities, $2,000, auto expenses, $3,400, salary, $70,000. Savings, we want to save $16,000. So let's calculate some things. First, in cell C5, we want to create a payment function. So insert formulas, financial, PMT. Our rate is in B4. Our number of payments is B3 times 12, our monthly payment. And our present value is the cost of our house. Once we click OK, we notice we have a negative number. We want to make it a positive. We put a negative in front of PMT. Negative times a negative gives us a positive. In cell C6, we need to calculate how much money we have left after we pay our bills. So we select our salary, then we subtract parentheses A2 plus D2 plus E2 plus C5. You will notice that here we get a number that is much less than our salary. So let's click back into our payment formula and get rid of our monthly payment and make this a yearly payment. We then notice there is a lot less savings we have, but we need to bump it up into 16,000. We need to copy our formula from cell C6 and put it into cell C2. And now we need to go back to our old friend Goal Seek. We click the Data tab, What If Analysis, Goal Seek. We want to set cell C2 to 16,000. But what do we need to change? B4, our interest rate on our home. When we click OK, we notice it goes through. We click OK again. Our interest rate has been changed to 4.31%. This means that if our interest rate drops down to 4.31%, we can end up with $16,000 in savings a year based on what we are paying for everything else. And once you have completed this, go ahead and submit.